But for me, yes, I'm 29. This is do or die for me now. You will not see me if I don't overcome this fight back in Australia fighting, domestic guys. That's not me. So everything I have, I'll be putting into that ring and obviously my training and, God willing, I'll be victorious October 16th.
Thanks for your time this morning. Also, you said there that this is pretty much it. That's a big statement to make. That if should you lose this fight, it could be the end.
It's been like that my whole career, though. For the Lopez fight, for the Selby fight, even against Bay back in the day. It's always been like that. The only time it changed is the first fight with Haney, where in the back of your mind you do have that rematch clause. It wasn't do or die. That's not when I'm at my best. So, do or die for me, it is. It could be the last time you ever see Kambosos, or I got all the belts back.
Dante's Boxing Nation, what's going on, guys? So there you hear George Kambosos talking like a complete different person. I mean, it's completely night and day. From the whole Emperor talk and everything else, he's not even talking with confidence anymore. Let me tell you something. When a fighter voluntarily starts to talk about retiring, if he loses a fight that he is actually promoting in a rematch, he is completely defeated. I told you guys on many previous videos leading up to the first fight with Devin Haney and George Kambosos, this lopsided deal that George Kambosos made, it was designed to be his retirement plan, his long-term insurance policy. The only way George was going to take the Devin Haney fight is if he was going to make enough money to walk away from the sport, assuming Devin Haney beats him, and he knew there was a very good chance that Devin Haney was going to beat him. He knew that Devin Haney was going to be his most difficult challenge. He knew it wasn't going to be anywhere near as easy as the Teofimo Lopez fight was. And he was right. George basically said to Devin Haney, look, man, if you're going to beat my ass, you are definitely going to pay for it. If you're going to take these belts from me, that's a hell of a price you're going to pay. And he wasn't talking about a price you're going to pay in the ring. He was talking about outside of the ring, financially. Now, just for a second, I want you guys to look at the dichotomy. Now, when Jermell Charlo was preparing to fight Brian Castano in a rematch, did you guys see how confident Jermell was talking? You see how confident he was talking? There was no doubt in Jermell Charlo's mind that he was going to beat Brian Castano and knock him out as he predicted. There was no, man, if I lose this fight, I'm done. I'm finished with the sport if I lose this fight. Jermell, he knew exactly what he was going to do that was going to work in the rematch. And he told people this. He told people he knows how to fix the mistakes he made in the first fight. When George Kambosos was asked, how is he going to fix the mistakes that he made in the first fight? In other words, how are you going to figure out the Devin Haney puzzle? Listen to what he said.
Of course, that he's a very good defensive boxer. I think we knew that before the first fight. How do you break it down this time?
That's for me and my small team, to work out, which we're already doing.
We're working on it. That's pretty much what George just said. We're still trying to figure out how to beat this man because we haven't quite figured it out yet. And then he follows that up. He follows saying we're still working on it to then praising how good Devin Haney is. Now listen, credit to George Kambosos for being a little bit more honest and sounding more realistic. But you have to give Devin Haney even more credit because he is the one that has completely humbled George Kambosos. There's another part in this press conference where George Kambosos all but pretty much admits that he had to take this rematch. Financially, it made too much sense, regardless if he thought he could win this fight or not. And you guys heard me talking about this over and over again leading up to the first fight. By beating Teofimo Lopez, it put George in a powerful position where he was able to hold those belts ransom. And the ransom price was very, very expensive, which Devin Haney found out. The only way George would take this fight with Devin Haney is if he was not only guaranteed a rematch clause, but guaranteed the lion's share of the split in a rematch, even if he were to lose all of his belts to Devin Haney, which he did. This was an offer that was sent to Devin Haney that George Kambosos' team did not expect him to take. That's how ridiculous the lopsided split was financially. Now, that's great financial security for George Kambosos, but this is the bad news for George Kambosos. I truly believe there's a chance that he could get stopped in this rematch because George is mainly taking this rematch for the money because once again, he negotiated such a great deal that it didn't matter if he would win or lose the rematch because he's going to make some ridiculous money. The problem with that is if George is mainly focused on the money he's going to make in the rematch, that means he's not going to be prepared mentally and psychologically when he's in the ring and Devin Haney is throwing punches at him. I've already explained to you guys, the reason why Devin Haney mainly used his jab in the first fight is because George was fighting such a defensive fight. You could tell George, he was trying to do everything to avoid Devin Haney's right hand. So since the right hand wasn't that available for Devin Haney in that first fight, he dominated Kambosos mainly with the jab. Now, if you guys noticed in the first fight, around the 9th and the 10th round, Devin Haney, he did start to hit Kambosos with more right hands. Devin got more aggressive. And the reason why George became more open for right hands is because George started to get more aggressive. The more aggressive George got, the more he got hit. The more Devin started to let his hands go. So if George goes in there trying to be more aggressive in the rematch, he's going to get hit a lot more. Now, there is a chance that George can just go in there and say, forget this. Let me just play it safe. Let me go ahead and collect my check, retire, and call it a day. That's very possible he can do that. Because when your new strategy is to go in there and be more aggressive, it's easier said than done, especially when your opponent is Devin Haney. That's all I got for now, guys. I'm on to the next one. Fellas, I've got some great news for you. If you've lost your hair or have a receding hairline, the time has come when you can finally get your hairline back through a process called scalp micropigmentation. So here's how it works. It's a hair tattoo that replicates the look of your hair follicles when you have fully shaved it down. So to get this hookup, make sure you follow and contact my man Scalp Carolinas on Instagram. Let me tell you guys about Issa Israel Law Firm. It is a full-service legal practice based in Denver, Colorado, an emerging hub for combat sports and high-altitude training. If you're a fighter inside or outside of the ring and you need a law firm you can trust to fight for you, visit thefighterfirm.com or email help@iilawfirm.com. Legal representation is usually limited to plaintiffs or defendants in Colorado, but iFirm can help anyone in the world with trademarking their business name, logos, and U.S. immigration issues. This brother has been my attorney for a while and helped guide me through all kinds of business and civil issues, so make sure you guys go to thefighterfirm.com. All right, now check this out, guys. If you're looking to repair eczema scars, burns and bruises, dark spots and blemishes, then this right here is the perfect product for you guys. It's called LO Deki Face and Body Oil. Athletes and top-ranking boxers, they're also using it after training to reduce swelling, inflammation, and to ease the pain. So get yours today. Go to lodeki.com, like them on Facebook, and follow them on Instagram.
Hi, this is Brittany Madison, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.
Okay, now blow.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.